here, inferior here. Once I think I have that spot, then I look down. Okay, and so sure enough, we have a problem. Not something that you're going to probably be able to find all that easily, but what I'm seeing is Lauren's right leg is slightly shorter than her left leg. Right? So her right leg is slightly shorter. I mean less than 2 centimeters for sure than her left leg. Okay? So what I'm looking for now is a change. Okay? So let me back up just for a second. Before I do this, she might be just sitting uneven on the table. So I want to make sure that I have her seated correctly. So I might do any of the following. Go ahead and bend your knees. So I bring them up toward her chest, and then I just do a little leg pull like that, just to make sure that she's seated correctly, right? Or I might have her bend both of her knees and lift her fanny up and back down, you know, and then kind of go through this. So do that first, right? Then I find it, and then what I found with her is that right one was slightly shorter than the left, okay? I'm going to then have her sit up, so go ahead and sit up for me. Good. And then I feel it again. Notice I'm not looking, right? So I feel it again. And I'm looking to see if there's any change from where she was a minute ago. And sure enough, her right leg has gotten a little bit longer. It's almost like her leg lengthened. So what I'm seeing here is opposite from what I saw a second ago. Right leg was shorter and it got longer when she came up. So what potentially, there's 2 scenarios that we're potentially dealing with. First of all, we think there's a functional issue because it changed. If she had a true leg length discrepancy and that was all she had, it wouldn't change. Right one would be longer in both positions. But it changed. You see how it's got to be functional if it changes? Okay? So there's at least a functional component, maybe structural too, but at least a functional component. So what are the 2 scenarios that pop out at you? If I were to kind of look at this, her right leg is short and when she's in supine, and it gets longer.
How do you know the left leg is shorter?
Well, that's why I said there's 2 scenarios. There's actually more than that, probably, but we'll keep it.
It's either a right posterior or left anterior rotation.
Yes. You guys see that? So the right is short, it gets longer. So it could be that the right side is posteriorly rotated. Right posterior rotation, the right is short and it gets longer. Or it could be that the left side is anteriorly rotated because the left is longer and the left gets shorter. We don't know which one is getting short, which one is moving. So if the right is short, it gets longer. It could be the right posterior rotation or a left anterior rotation. You guys completely confused? Partially confused? Who's partially confused? Who's kind of lost completely? Okay. So go ahead and lie back for me. So in this position, the right leg was shorter, right? Okay. Why was the right leg shorter? Well, because maybe the right leg, the right innominate, is posteriorly rotated. Well, how would that make the right leg shorter? Because if it's posteriorly rotated, the acetabulum is back on that ellipse. That right leg is shorter. Well, I know the right leg is shorter, but I'm looking at it relative to the left leg. So couldn't it be that the left leg is longer? What would make the left leg longer? Anteriorly rotated on the right, on the left. So left anterior rotation, right posterior rotation would result in what we just saw with her. Right could be posterior, it's making this shorter, or the left could be anterior, making this longer. Could be either one of those. The fact that she changed leads me to believe that one of those is happening. I'm going to show you a technique to fix both at the same time when we get to the modes. So it won't matter all that much. If I had my preference, I'd pick the side of pain. If she was painful on the right side, then I would go with, yeah, I think it's the right side that's posteriorly rotated. Right? So I would kind of use the pain as the side that would direct me to where the problem lies. Okay? Guys, you don't have to have all the details of this hammered out. Okay? If you want to get you begin thinking about it, we'll talk more about it. We'll kind of play with this a little bit more. Okay? This is confusing for people that have been practicing for a long time. Still rolling?